And a lot of people in the comment section are saying the same thing. What the crap? I understand why the defensive backs are leaving and defensive players, but why wouldn't a wide receiver want to play for that Kalen DeBoer offense? And I understand that perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Wednesday. And if not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And also, hope you're staying warm. It is cold everywhere. In today's video, we got some important stuff to talk about, and it involves no other than, guess who? Alabama. You shouldn't be shocked by this or surprised because Alabama is the talk of the town, and you know why. Nick Saban recently retired. They hired the new head coach in Kalen DeBoer. They're replacing the entire coaching staff, and now you got players leaving left and right. It hasn't been a fun time to be an Alabama fan, but everybody else, I think they're enjoying this, and they're laughing at Bama fans because this is what they've been waiting for. Alabama's finally falling off. They're coming back down to earth in reality. This is what everyone's been dreaming of. And it's not like people try to hide from the fact they hate Alabama. This is public knowledge. And I think another reason why it's so surreal and it's such a big deal is because Alabama dominated the sport of college football for so long, it did become the new reality. You just got used to it. Because in college football, it's normal for teams to have a good, I'd say what, 4 to 5 year run. Some teams that come to my mind when I bring that up is most definitely Clemson and Florida back when they had Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow. It's just hard to dominate for longer than 5 to 6 years because the game's changing constantly. But Nick Saban did it, and that's why he's the greatest of all time, because he adapted and he always changed his ways. He was never stagnant. And we may touch on that a little later in this video, so stay tuned for that. For now though, we gotta talk about Alabama losing not one, let me repeat that, not one, but 2 5-star recruits. Here's the kicker with this. Over the past couple of days, we've seen Alabama lose star players that are already in a Crimson Tide uniform. And by this point in time, it looks like they've had about 5 to 6 potential starters leave the team. Isaiah Bond, Amari Niblack, Trey Amos, Roydell Williams. That's a guy we haven't talked about too much. He went to Florida State, and most recently Caleb Downs and a couple others. The transfer portal has been eating Alabama up, and remember, got those in there, the only reason Alabama's the only team affected by this is because the portal's not open to anybody else. The NCAA implemented a rule where if a head coach retires, gets fired, or something along those lines, the portal for that school only opens for 30 days. So that's why we've only been talking about Alabama, because they're really the only school that can get transfer portal news. Of course, there's some other schools being affected by it because their head coaches have departed, but we can all agree Alabama, they're taking the biggest hit. Before we go any farther, I want to show y'all this tweet. It's trending all over Twitter, and it's definitely interesting, and it should spark up a pretty good debate in the comment section here. Transfer portal needs to be fixed. This situation with Alabama will cause change. Bama is penalized because they made the playoffs and Saban retired afterward. The last team to make a change gets shafted in the portal. There's simply no players left in the portal to recruit. Top available players are the ones hitting the portal from Alabama. If Saban retired on December 1st, this wouldn't be happening, needs to be fixed. He added to that and stated, "You guys are getting too caught up with quote-unquote Alabama. If Harbaugh takes an NFL job tomorrow, Michigan is in the same situation. Their players are leaving and the transfer portal will be empty besides Michigan players. The current system needs fixing," and I agree. This has nothing to do with Alabama or Michigan. I was saying the transfer portal was screwed up when the quarterback for Texas, remember Malik Murphy, he had to leave his team during their playoff run. And that was an awful situation because Malik Murphy wanted to stay with his team. He wanted to play in the playoff. But if he wanted to be a starter next year, he had to enter the portal because all the other starting jobs were being taken up. And of course, we're not going to talk about it moving forward just due to the fact that Quinn Ewers didn't get hurt in that game. But if Ewers gets hurt against Washington, which thankfully he didn't, the backup quarterback was Arch Manning, and he was not ready for that. And I get it. You're going to have people say, oh, well, Matt, the reason they have the portal window when they do is so they can register for the next semester. I understand that, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. For college football, at least, they have got to change the portal because it's just messed up in so many different ways, especially this one. Let me know your thoughts on that. Do you like the way the portal is set up, or do you think it needs some fixing and minor tweaking? Continuing along here, though, let's talk about the Alabama news. And oh, what do you know? This just came across my desk. Another 4-star has just decommitted from Alabama. This was an edge rusher that goes by the name of Zion Grady, and yeah, he's decommitted. Oh, yeah, that's great. I didn't even know that before this video, so I just add him to the list. Let's take a look at this here. This is from Mike. Overall, Alabama has lost 7 of its defensive backs to the transfer portal and 3 to the NFL draft. Only 5 DBs remain from that 2023 roster. Malachi Moore, Devontae Smith, no, not the one you're thinking of, Tony Mitchell, Bray Hubbard, and Jahlil Hurley. Todd added Damani Jackson through the portal and signed 7 freshmen. And I low-key forgot about Damani Jackson. He's going to help us out a lot. He's from USC, former 5-star recruit. Hopefully Damani Jackson does not change his mind because when he committed to Bama, Nick Saban was still there. So we'll see what happens there. My hopes ain't too high, and I'll leave it at that for now. But He is still committed. And yesterday, Alabama also had a 4-star offensive lineman that goes by the name of Mason Short. He decommitted. That's unfortunate, but here's what I really want to talk about and get into. 5-star wide receiver that goes by the name of Jamie French, he decommitted from Alabama. And a lot of people in the comment section are saying the same thing. What the crap? I understand why the defensive backs are leaving and defensive players, but why wouldn't a wide receiver want to play for that Kalen DeBoer offense? And I understand that perspective. But at the end of the day, I also got to throw in there, and it seems like I've said this over and over, but it's true and it explains the situation to a T. These players, this guy right here, Jamie French, he didn't commit to Kalen DeBoer. He committed to Nick Saban, and Saban's gone. To go on top of all that, this was the biggest news in T-Town, and I saved the worst for last. 5-star plus, not just a 5-star, 5-star plus wide receiver Ryan Williams, he decommitted to Alabama right after Saban announced he's retiring. I am a little late to this news, and I do apologize because we've been covering everything else going on, and you know it's been a lot. But we're talking about it now, and trust me when I say this, I'm getting to everything as fast as I can. If you're watching this video, I'm just going to automatically assume you know Ryan Williams. This is a guy that everybody was fighting over in the recruiting world. And what really sucks about Ryan Williams here is he decommitted before we even hired Kalen DeBoer. But, and I have a big but, I do have some good news on this situation for my Alabama fans. And with everything going on, this is the only good news, so you might want to lock in for this. I've talked to a couple guys around that T-Town area, and Ryan Williams, ever since Kalen DeBoer got hired, they've already met each other. They had an unofficial visit a couple days ago, and this weekend, he should be visiting yet again. I'm going to say that one more time. It is Wednesday, as to when I'm posting this video, as to when you're seeing this video more than likely. Well, this weekend, upcoming, so that'd be what, 19th, 20th, 21st? Ryan Williams is going to be in T-Town. That's great news, because at least, even if he doesn't wind up coming back, he is at least giving Kalen DeBoer a chance. We've seen it with all these other guys. Many of them, they're not even hearing them out, and they're leaving. And we already talked about this. Isaiah Bond wouldn't even pick up the phone and even shoot him a text back. Let me know your thoughts on Ryan Williams down below. What percentage of a chance would you give him of recommitting back to Alabama? I have no idea. Haven't heard too much. I just know he will be going back to T-Town this weekend, so that is somewhat good news. With all that being said, we're going to take a look at some of the comments and see what you guys are saying, because we haven't done that in a while, and I love seeing y'all's different perspectives and whatnot. It's great insight. I'm just going to pick out a couple random ones. We'll start with this. This is from Drone Chaser. As a true Alabama fan since the Bear Bryant days, I can tell you we will most likely finish the next regular season at 8-4 and hopefully win whatever bowl game we get. We just lost the GOAT, staff of the GOAT, and key players to boot. Let's at the very least just be honest about our situation. Those losses have to mean something, or how could he have been the GOAT? Just saying. I'm interested to see what happens the second season without Nick. The second season without the Bear was a 5-7 disaster. Roll Tide. Nice little fun fact there. I appreciate you throwing in some details. The season after Bear Bryant, we went 5-7. Interesting. Let's go with this one from Steven here. His comment, I see, it's got quite a bit of likes, so should be pretty good. Matt, watching you cope with this changing of the guard at Bama has been an interesting case study disguised as reality TV. It certainly appears that during the vast majority of your formative years, UA, which is Alabama, has been the pinnacle of college football, and you're having a bumpy ride on the road to accepting that things won't be the same. Bama has the misfortune to have this happen at the time when the transfer portal is like the Wild West, and the players have much more power to choose their next move rather than be stuck in the new, I've never seen that word in my life, I'm not even going to try to say it. Continuing along after that word I've never seen in my life, I will say I don't recall seeing this many high-level starters depart any team after a coaching change, but losing the GOAT creates quite the vacuum no matter who steps in to fill the position. Who knows what the future will hold, but the reality is things will be different going forward. And you may find that the level of expectations you've been accustomed to just doesn't work anymore. Best of luck with finding the right balance within yourself to ride the emotional roller coaster you're currently on, and thank you for that. That is a great comment, and I'll give you my 2 cents on that. Yes, of course, I don't expect us to win 6 national championships within the next 15 years. No. I'm not dumb. I'm not delusional. I'm not naive, whatever word you can throw in there. I am expecting a drop-off. But, and I have a really big but, you better believe this, I'm not expecting a big-time drop-off, and the standard I'm holding my team, here's the difference. I'm not expecting to go 11-1 or 12-0 next year. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's the standard. I don't know what we're going to go next year, and I'm not going to give you a prediction because it's so far out, there's no point of doing that. I'll give you a prediction on the Alabama season later down the road. Trust me, we got a long off season to do all that crap. What I'm saying is, and I'm telling each and every single one of you as an Alabama fan, I am not lowering my standard. I'm not. I'm holding this team to the same standard as I was when Nick Saban was there, and I won't expect anything less. It's championship or bust. Will we win a championship next year? Probably not, but that's the standard. I just want to make that clear. But at the same time, though, I think the rest of the college football world, maybe y'all are underestimating what Kalen DeBoer can do at Alabama in his first couple of years. For right now, what are we all saying, including myself? Oh yeah, Nick Saban's the greatest of all time. There'll never be another Saban. Well, you know, 40, 50 years ago, they were saying the same thing about Bear Bryant. When Bear Bryant retired, what was the narrative? Oh yeah, there'll never be a head coach as good as Bear Bryant. And guess what? There was a better one, and he went by the name of Nick Saban. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Kalen DeBoer, but they didn't think it was going to happen with Saban. Let me throw this in there. DeBoer beat Texas last year. The same Texas team that embarrassed Alabama by double digits on their home field. I say that to say this, and I'll end off the video here. I full on expect us to be in that 12-team playoff next year. I do. Not saying we're going to win a championship, but DeBoer took a Washington team that wasn't more talented than Alabama to a 14-0 record. One more comment here and we'll end off the video. There's many great ones, but I can't read them all. We'd be here for the next 2 hours. Bama had its run. All good things come to an end. You can't expect Bama to be a quote-unquote winner when Saban drops on the pitcher out of the blue. Be ready 3+ loss seasons for the next 3 seasons, just like Ohio State, USC, Michigan, etc. after the head. Nah. That ain't happening, not at Bama. I'm not going to let y'all forget. Y'all were saying after the Texas game, Bama was going to lose 4 or 5 games this year. And guess what? Didn't happen. Finished the year 11-1. Don't even act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Everybody was saying Bama was going to go 8-4, 9-3 this year, even before the Texas game. Guess what? And this is just in the regular season. Bare minimum, Alabama's winning 10 games next year. I'll just tell you that right now. That is the bare minimum. I feel a rant and tangent coming, so I'll end it off here. Let me know your thoughts down below. But